Hi everybody, Amy White with Worthy Written Words. Today we are in our New Testament wide margin edition in Luke chapter 24, verse 29. Now in your kit you have some stamps. We want to take the door that looks like this one. You've got like 3 options, but we're going to use this one, and we're going to put it on an acrylic block or just like a clear see-through block that it will attach to. And then using the ink that came in your kit, we're going to put a really thick coating of ink. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually going to press down on top so I can see if there's any bubbles and work them out with the ink pad. And then I'm actually going to practice this first on a scrap piece of paper before I go ahead and just go for it inside of my book, so I can get a little bit more comfortable with the concept, because stamping can be one of the most intimidating things to do. So I'm pushing down super hard. Sorry, I'm hitting the camera, but I'm pushing down as hard as I possibly can, and it worked out great. So I'm going to do it again, this time in my book. And again, I want to see the stamp so I can see if there's any air bubbles that need to be worked out. And then you can clean off any extra ink off of your acrylic block so it doesn't transfer to your page. And then we're going to press as hard as we can on the bottom right of our margin to get this stamp on our book. And I'm trying to line it up so it'll be straight, but I even think that mine ended up a little bit crooked, but it didn't turn out to be such a big deal. So I'm pushing as hard as I can, and it did a really good transfer, I thought. But something to note is that this ink in your kit is not waterproof. It's meant to react with water. So as we go and color it in, make sure that you are only using colored pencils or something that won't smear the ink. So now I'm using the bricks stickers, and I am adding them to the bottom on each side of the door with using the top 2 stickers. And I'm going to do it so that the straight edge is along the side of the door, and then the edge, so it kind of looks like a triangle, and the point of the triangle is away from the door. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And then I have some that hangs off the edge because of where my stamp was placed, so I just cut off any excess. Now I do decide to go back to this first sticker and to cut off the top 3 bricks. Part of the fun of this kit is to figure out what you want the bricks to look like, where you want them to go. And so I take off those first 3 bricks so it'll fit a little bit more snug in there. And I'm going to be using those bricks later. So any bricks that you cut off, be sure that you hold on to for later up on the higher part of the page. Now I'm going to take this Abide With Me 'Tis Eventide sticker, and I'm going to place it above the door stamp. And I'm just going to line it up with the lines in my margin so that it will be nice and straight on my page. Now this next step is where you can be a little bit creative. I am going to just be cutting into these bricks, doing like a 2 brick, 3 brick pattern, if you will. And I'm cutting just a section of it off so that I can put it next to the Abide With Me sticker. So after I cut what I think is a good section, then I'm going to cut it even more so that the top and the bottom will only have like 1 brick to give it that triangular look to it. So there's 1 brick on that side, and then I'm going to do it on the other side. And then that way it's just a combination of 1, 2, or 3 bricks. And it's for about 1, 2, let me see. It's for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7 lines. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side where I cut some more off. And yours can look just the way mine looks, or you can do something different. I did it this way on purpose so that you could add like your own twist to this on what you want to do with the bricks. Now I'm going to take a turquoise colored pencil. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Mine are watercolor pencils, but I'm not going to be adding any water to them. So just any sort of colored pencil will work just fine. Again, you don't want to use a marker or anything that's really wet because it will blur the ink pad underneath. So I'm just coloring in these two doors turquoise. Now I have a few different green colored pencils, so I'm just using that scrap piece of paper from earlier and testing them out to see what the green colors will look like, to see which ones I want to use. And I'm going to use two different green colors. I'm not going to use the one in the middle. It's too blue. So I'm using the top and the bottom, and I'm going to just color in the greenery throughout the stamp, and I'm just going to go back and forth using the two different greens. And it's just to give it a little bit more depth, I guess, to have the two different colors. You could just use one color green if you want. It's just to make it look a little different. And a lot of times I don't really know what the green is. I'm just kind of going for it and guessing on the stamp and just kind of coloring them in green. Now I'm taking that turquoise colored pencil again and I'm outlining the word abide. And the way that I'm outlining it is I just take the color on both sides of the black ink. So I outline the outside of the letter and the inside of the letter. And to be honest, I think I might actually like this page better if I hadn't done this step. But like I say, I'm more of a less is more person. I know there are many who are more is more. So if you like the way this looks, you can do this too. So I outline the word, and then I felt like it lessened the ink where it was not as bright and easy to read. So then I go back over the ink, just tracing it with a regular black gel pen. Again, this entire part is completely optional. Now I have added the Abide With Me tab label to the tab. And now I am going to mess around with these brick stickers some more and kind of put some more throughout the top part of this margin area. And I'm going to save some of the bricks to go up above by the tab. So I'm just using this big block chunk section that's left, adding it on top, and then I add a couple to go underneath that to kind of connect the two sections together. And then I'm saving the rest to go up top. Now when you get down to just like one or two bricks, they're really little, so I am ending up using some tweezers just to help me secure these and put them down where I want them. Totally optional if you don't have tweezers, it's not a big deal. It's just with my nails, it can be sometimes hard to move these itty bitty stickers, and so that's why I'm using those. Now I'm going to color in verse 29 using the same turquoise colored pencil that I used for the doors and the abide word. Now I'm attaching these star stickers to the upper right corner of my page, and they are all black. And after that is put on, be careful because once you put it down, you're not going to be able to lift it back up and put it back on it's pretty hard to tear that back up. But then I'm going to attach this moon to that, and I want a little bit of the moon hanging up above my page. And the way that I oriented the moon is I put it as though it looked like the earth, kind of like the United States and then Europe and Asia. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing there, but that's how I aligned it. Now you can leave these as is, or if you have a yellow glaze pen by Sakura, I went and colored in some of these stars, just outlining them to give it a little bit of color. If you have a regular gel pen, I don't know if that will work. It seems like regular gel pens just kind of bead up on the clear sticker. So I do know that the glaze pens work if you have them. Now using some craft tape, I'm using AdTech Micro Dots. I'm going to put them on the bottom of my tab and attach that to the top of my page. And then I'm going to secure that more by using a little bit of washi tape just to put underneath that. I'm using these little leftover brick pieces that were just the ones that I haven't used yet, and I am going to put those on the far left side of the washi tape just to kind of tie it all back in together. Now I'm going to place these stars so that there's 2 on one side of the moon and 1 on the other side. And then I'm going to outline these stars using a black glaze pen by Sakura. You don't have to do this part, or if you want to do it and you don't have a black glaze pen, you could just use a regular black marker or a regular black gel pen, but just make sure that they don't bleed through to the other side of your page first. I did it with a regular black gel pen first, but then I decided that I wanted those to be thicker, so I went back with the glaze pen, which is just a lot thicker than a regular glaze pen. So that's why I do this 2 times. And that is the last step for this page kit. I hope that you guys had a great time journaling. Abide with me, and be sure that you subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all of our latest video releases. And if you want to get these page kits at a discounted price and before anybody else gets them, make sure you are signed up for our monthly subscription. Otherwise, they go up for sale at full price in the shop after they ship for the subscriptions. We will see you guys next time. Bye.